Thank you so much for the wait. Welcome back. So what's being expressed here is the non-negotiable. This is the non-negotiable. The what is always non-negotiable. But seemingly there's a negotiator that wants to negotiate what's non-negotiable. It negotiates what is. It wants to there's the negotiator wants to control what can't be controlled. So everything that seems to be happening is non-negotiable. It already is. It already is. It can't be changed. It can't be avoided. It can't be moved. So in the seeking for this, there's always this negotiation that happens of what can be done, what can be achieved, what can be gained. But every single apparent moment that happens is already non-negotiable. It cannot be altered. And there is this unconditionality of it. It's just perfection in every single moment. But when the negotiator comes in and basically asks, is there something better than this? Can we negotiate this? Can we try to make this better? Can I be happier? Can I get rid of my anxiety? Can I get rid of this, and that? It's always negotiating something that's already perfectly unknown. There's nothing wrong or right about that, but it's also non-negotiable. And in talks like this, what's always being expressed is non-negotiable. It already is. It's already present. It's already unchanging. It's ineffable. It's completely ineffable. And somehow, there is a almost kind of like a begging sometimes that happens, or I know that this is non-negotiable, but how about this? And it's something that is just really hilarious when it's seen after the apparent falling away, although there's no one that fell away and no one will ever fall away. In the story, when the story is seen as ridiculous as it is, one of the common things that usually happens or uttered is, it's always been this way. It's always been non-negotiable. It's always been this way. There's nothing that can... It's quite shocking because all this apparent time, there's negotiations about maybe, you know what, if I just become better, maybe if I increase my meditation to 2 hours, maybe if I do this. But the one that is seeking, the one that is negotiating, the one that is the one that's the illusion. So the illusory negotiator keeps on trying to bargain. It's kind of like haggling the non-negotiable. And he keeps on doing that over and over and over again. And he gets really frustrated. And he will say that, I know what you're saying, but can you just give me a technique? Can you give me something that I can achieve, that's something that I can know, something that I can attain, something that I can digest? Can you simplify it? And then the speaker will go something like this. Well, all that there is this. There's nothing outside of this. This is inescapable. This is stunningly clear that it's non-negotiable. And the ridiculous notion that, that there is something that can be done of what already is perfect, what already is completion, what already is unquestionable, what already is freedom, what already is unconditional love. The moment that there's conditions or thinking that happens, then it rejects what's always being presented without any negotiation. It's always this way. It's kind of like, there's almost like this kind of like funny scenario in a shop. Well, everything is what is. And the negotiator comes in and will say, well, how much is this? It's already what is. How do I get that? It's already what is. Can I put that in installment? It's already what is. So that's what seemingly is happening in these meetings as well. Is there's going to be a lot of negotiations happening. There's going to be a lot of questions about what is occurring. So what's non-negotiable is the infinity, the clarity. Some people call it the absolute. I don't really like using that word. Wholeness, completeness, perfection. So unconditional love, unconditional freedom. And all of these are basically synonyms of something that can never really be truly expressed. It's ineffable. And it's also non-negotiable. I think that was a pretty clear point. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. Let the negotiations begin. It was funny because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. William earlier was talking about negotiating to the highway and everything. And that's when the word came up. I'm like, well, you know what? I'll talk about that non-negotiableness of everything. Because that's what I used to do when I was a seeker. Is when there was a someone said sold, when there was an inkling of like, okay, you know what, I'm really desperate at doing this. Maybe if I do 8 hours of listening to this communication, maybe if I write down every single note, that's a negotiation. Trying to understand it, trying to grasp it, trying to know it, trying to capture it is negotiations. Yeah. Someone wrote that your introductions always leave people speechless. Leave people speechless. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't do it. Hi, Eliana. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you.
That helps.
Yes.
Um, I think nobody's saying anything because I don't think they're going to get a better deal if they talk. We're on to you, Emerson. Bye.
Bye. No deal. But there's all love behind the non negotiation. Yes, unconditional love is non negotiable. Thank you, Tej. Someone said Emerson found a new word. Yes. I actually have to thank William for it.
No, no, no.
Oh, no, no.
And this gentleman and Theo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I was just in the way.
Oh, no, no. I was talking about the topic, William.
Oh,
The topic I started talking about, that this is all non-negotiable. We were talking about earlier about you negotiating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Negotiating the road, the path.
How much time do we have to complete the contract? Well, what's being presented is that it's always is completion. It's always completion. It's always contentment. It's always perfection. So that to me, Steve, is a negotiator asking me how much time. It's negotiating again. Do you want to add something to that, Steve?
No, I don't feel the heat.
Here it is.
Yes, there's air circulation.
You know, there are a lot of, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of contracts that put in a clause, time is of the essence.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Time becomes very important to the performance of a contract for people. I don't think that works in this context.
No, no, it doesn't work at all because there's actually no contract because what's already being presented is already complete. It doesn't even need negotiations. That's why it's non-negotiable. Seekers keep on seeking for the absence. It's already absent. Seekers are looking for the dropping away of a me. There was never a me. And then they'll negotiate by saying that, well, I'm almost there. I listen to this communication a lot. I have done 20 years of seeking, and that is the negotiation. It's almost kind of like pleading that I almost got this, pleading that this is already almost gotten.
If we go to another speaker, do you think we could get a better deal?
It depends. Well, if you go to the uncompromising communication kind of speakers, you will never get a deal. So that's what sometimes happens is when there is a compromising way of communicating this is that although it's always non-negotiable, but it's almost kind of like a scam by telling you that, well, you can get here, you can do that by practicing this, by doing this, and by whatever, is being offered. So it's almost like coddling. When people ask me, how can you be so brutal when you're apparently like a kind person? And I said, well, true compassion or kindness is just being completely honest, that there's nothing to get, that there's no you to get, and anything other than that actually is quite cruel. So when I see, and again, there's nothing wrong or right, about this. When I see practices, and there's nothing wrong or right about that, or inquiring, or doing all of this, for here, it feels really cruel. Because what's already being offered is non-negotiable. And they'll say that this is non-negotiable. Maybe not that word, but they will mention that this is already perfection. But let me take you there. Let's abide in that perfection. Let's discover.
You include transportation in the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy,
Tough. This is tough.
it's very tough.
Yeah.
Thanks once again for doing these.
Oh, you're welcome, Steve. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
Emerson, it's a never-ending gerbil wheel transportation that they include in that.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you, I saw your email. It said you were in bed for 3 days.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, I actually went for a walk today, And the walk, maybe I overwalked, but I'm doing great. Yeah.
Yay, good to see you.
There's a question here. Hi, Emerson. Is kindness an aspect of the separate individual? Well, there's no separate individual, right? So there's no aspect of anything for something that's not really there. So kindness happens, cruelness happens. It's not an aspect of anything. The moment that there is a separation, the moment that there is an introduction of that, that's a negotiator trying to negotiate the non-negotiable wholeness of what already is. So kindness is just kindness appearing. Beautiful how this appears in nowhere. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can blame and criticism still arise? Yes, but for no one. But for it doesn't arise from the moment that because there's no separate individuals. There's never been any separateness here. Then it becomes like a self-blame or self-criticism, and there's really none of that. There's no self. There's blame that happens, there's criticism that happens, and it unhappens. Because it doesn't happen from someone. It doesn't come from anyone. That fan is nice. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a nice hum.
Emerson, you mentioned instant forgiveness before. Can you talk about that again? Yes, I think in one of my talks, I expressed that everything is really pure and innocent. That there is no time, there's no history, there is no one. There's no one guilty, there's no one ashamed. Simply, there's no one. So when an apparent happening happens and there is an attachment to it, again, when the I becomes a central figure in all of this, then it becomes embroiled in this drama of doing wrong or doing right, doing to others and all that kind of stuff. So what's seen from here is that everything that's apparently happening is happening innocently and purely. It's like a play. So if there's something that has been done to you, there might be anger that arises, but it's also instant forgiveness at the same time because no one did that to you. So no one has ever hurt you. You've never hurt anyone. You've never suffered. No one has ever suffered. You've never felt anything. You've never experienced. Always pure and innocent. Ramsey, actually, can you expand on that question, Ramsey? I don't know Go ahead, please, and unmute yourself. What do you mean by that question? What is this? So, okay. Ag- what is this present moment? Okay. There's no present moment again. And what is this is really hard to describe what this is. This appears to be happening and unhappening. This appears to be seeing and unseeing. This appears to be appearing and disappearing. This appears to be this, whatever it is. There's appearing as separateness, but it's actually not. There's this negotiator trying to ask what this is, but it's non-negotiable because everything that's appearing is already perfection. And you can't negotiate perfection. And you can also add unknown perfection because since there's no one here, so no one knows what this is. No one knows what the present moment is because there's actually not even any time. So there's no present, there's no past, there's no future. It's just this. It's just the immediacy of this, the ineffable, that can never be really understood. It's nothing and everything at the same time. And it's hard to comprehend that because the one that's trying to comprehend that is an illusion. So everything that it perceives is an illusion. Everything that it functions is an illusion. The only thing that it can produce are illusions. So the question, the illusory question is what is this, if answered in a precise, way, or coming to a location or a statement or a knowing, is also an illusion. So it's the unknown. Or I could have just said, I don't know. That's a better answer. Hey, Emerson, can you talk about the power of now? Okay. So the power of now is a negotiator tool of something that cannot be negotiated. Because there's always this. We can't even call it now because the moment that we call it now, it's already not now. From what I remember when I was seeking, I did read the Power of Now book. And it was quite fun, saying I have to be honest. But actually, it became kind of like almost like a superior thing for me. Like I would walk around, I would read a book, and I'll be like, well, you're not in the now, you're in the ego mind. You should be in the now. You should be in the now. So it became it became this hierarchy of thing that I know the power of now, and I am so present that I can actually see people that are not present. There's nothing wrong or right about that, but it just, for this character, just became a tool or mechanism of negotiating something that is always present. Always present. It's trying to avoid what already is by creating an illusory now. And it just becomes this very convoluted system. Maybe that's what happens when you take acid, is you think that you got to the power of now, and that's probably what happened to the author of that. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. This is so accepting and loving and empty. Yes, yeah. It's just this unconditionality, accepting anything, loving anything, emptily. It doesn't have a choice. Can you talk about wanting another experience? Yes, and that's actually what is always what's always wanted to, when people come to this meeting, sometimes, I will get people that will say that, oh, Emerson, I was at your meeting, and for a brief second there, or for a few moments there was no me. So they want that experience. They think that they're so heavy burdened with the me. They think that they're so trapped in the me. They think that they're so caught up that they want that to drop away. And sometimes, they want that. And that's what the power of now is usually, is when apparent characters want, thinking that by getting to the now, then they have created a new experience. But since there's no experiencer, there's no one experiencing anything. Everything is just this immediacy, this very intimate, the intimacy of it all, the non-negotiability of what is already. It's actually quite really humbling. If this is nothing, is everything, the appearance of this blast of color, light, the sound, the smell, the apparent separateness of everything. Once it's seen, it's almost really mesmerizing. It's always this wow. Or even if it's not mesmerizing, it's still wow, because it's just appearing as whatever it is. So to deny this apparent this and wanting to have a different experience is almost kind of like telling what is not good enough. It's almost telling unconditional love, well, that's not the unconditional love that I want. I want that prime unconditional love experience where, that you're floating, and all that kind of stuff. Every single apparent moment is already completely in love with itself. I should not use that word. Every single apparent moment is already completion. It's already what is being sought for. It's already what's being longed for. It's already perfection. It's already, let's call it the perfect lover. So when wanting, and it can appear as anything. So the non-negotiable can appear as anxiety, can appear as a headache. It doesn't have to be all this blissful stuff. So when that is rejected, it actually multiplies its hold. Anxiety becomes suffering. Depression becomes very intense because it's being denied and wanting something different and wanting something that is completely a different experience. It's trying to negotiate something that it wants differently. It's rejecting what is for something that what it thinks is better than this. There's always this, when there's seeking happening, there's always this, there's got to be something better than this. When the me falls away, when the idea, when I am liberated, then my depression will go away. My anxiety will disappear. My financial problems will crumble, and all of that kind of stuff. And it becomes this very how do you say it? Becomes a fantasy, really. It becomes a carrot, yeah. So very good one, thank you. So when it becomes a carrot, then it becomes this longing for something that is not. Because what's already being offered is what is. And then when wanting to have a different experience, it looks for what is and wants it to be, thinks it's what is not. There's nothing wrong or right about that, but that seems to be where a lot of suffering happens, is because get me out of this. Although this is inescapable, it's just a play. It's just a play. But there's no choice in anything. Yes, and that's the thing too, is there's no choice in anything whatsoever. So even wanting that dangling carrot is also what's happening. It's also the unquestionable, or the undeniable appearing as that. So everything that appears is already is. It's in every single minute detail of this pillow. It's in that pattern behind here. It's in the humidity in Toronto. It's in the smile. It's in the gas that you feel in your stomach. That's why I have this pillow. Um, it's in everything. But since that's what's happening, it's not looking for something different. It's full on acceptance, because there's no one here saying that, well, I'm not feeling well, all that kind of stuff like that. It's just what is. There's no choice in anything whatsoever. So what seemingly happens is when the negotiator sees that it cannot negotiate its way out of it, then it dissolves. This really contracted energy of trying to look for something better than this is just seen as an illusion, that there's nothing that can be done about it. It's kind of funny because when I always talk about this, that there's always no me. In the morning when a person wakes up, they usually kind of like wake up, and then there's this sense of, what am I going to do or whatever, and then it brushes its teeth, it maybe cooks breakfast, goes for a bike, goes for a run, walks the dog. There's no one there. Even if you look out through all your day, what you did so far, no one has ever been there. But the moment that there is this contraction that, well, you know what, I better go to this meeting with Emerson because I have to get rid of this me. What are you getting rid of? It's already perfection. There's already nothing to drop. Because what's appearing as is already emptiness. It's already non-negotiable emptiness. It's already unconditional love. And there's nothing that you can do or not do about it because it's happening without you, meaning that there's no you that's needed. So running around in the house happens, sleeping happens, whatever happens, happens. And there was no you doing any of that. You can also say that what is animating all of this apparent illusion is emptiness. So everything that you're looking for is already empty. We can even change, let's just be playful. We can even just change the word that everything is already enlightenment. So even that fart is enlightenment. Even that bad thought is enlightenment. And there's nothing wrong or right about any of that because that's just peacefulness, emptiness appearing as whatever it is. So whatever you look, whatever you feel, whatever you look for, whatever you long for is already it. It's already it. And it can't be negotiated. It can't be altered. So the one that tries to alter all of this stuff, the one that tries to negotiate apparent everything already enlightened, is the one that's separating, is the one that is denying the awakeness and everything, the aliveness and everything, the perfection and everything. Oh, sorry, Kelly. Hey, Kelly.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hi. You just made the statement, whatever you long for is already that, or already here.
Yes.
What are you referring to? Can you explain that more?
Yeah. For example, most seekers are looking for emptiness or their absence. They're looking for the death of me or ego death or one of those things that people use to kind of like, thinks that it will better themselves, right? But there's already no ego. There's already no you. So what you were looking for is already it. It's already clearly empty already. Since everything is emptiness already, since everything is already absolute, since everything is already perfection, so everything that you look for is also perfection. Everything that you long for is already looking at perfection. So it's perfection and perfection and perfection and perfection.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Emerson, can I?
Yes. Hi.
Hiya.
Hi,
Just
Tori.
hello. Hi.
Oh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. I just want to say what you just said about pain or a headache. When you want it to go away and you want something else, you're denying love. I just think that is so incredible and so beautiful. Thank you for that. That is
Oh,
one.
thank you.
That is just beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Good.
What's up, perfection?
You recently said on one of your many Zooms that a beautiful thing, I think, that when the why and the when and the how answer themselves, are themselves the answer, well, then I guess there's no more question. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit more about that, because that was such a wonderful thing, and I just like to hear you expand a little on it.
Yeah, when I was seeking, there was this why and when, and it just keeps on going and separating and creating more. How do I do this? All of these questions that just keeps on multiplying and multiplying. It's kind of like in one night, when you're in agony and in suffering and think that you have to get out. How do I get this? When will I get out of this? What do I need to do this? When, and it's just circling around in its own puddle of illusion, and it just keeps on going and going and going. So when that is seen, that the one that is asking the question is also the answer. The one that is being trying to get rid of is also the one that's answering the question. Meaning that it's unreal and real at the same time, that it's already perfection. That those questions of longing are already complete, are already met. It's already presented, it's already completed, it's already satisfied, it's already contentment. So when those questions arise and everything, when it's just seen that that's already perfection asking itself questions, and any questions that arises and any answers that arises are all perfection. So even that longing of wanting to figure out, or that why, that despair, right, is also perfection, despairing its own absence, or despairing, hoping for a better perfection, is already perfection. So when all of these questions arise, when they all, come in and out, and the answers, and it's kind of funny because, I don't know if you've spent, this is just an illusion, this is just a story of turmoil, of trying to seek this, of wanting to get out of something, and that you think is if I only fall away, if I only drop away. And then how do I do this? Where do I get?
That might have happened once or twice.
Yes.
Over and over again.
Yeah. So when it's seen that one, there's no one, is the one that is seeking, the one that is asking all of these questions, have all of the answers as well. Meaning that there's no separate questioner and there's a separate answerer. This is all whole already. It's already all perfection. It's perfection appearing as segregated imperfections. So the why, the when, the how, the what, when that is seen as answers as well. So the one that is asking all of these questions, the one is already absent because it's perfect. It's already non-negotiable because it is unconditional love already. So unconditional love is despairing for its own seeing. Unconditional love is asking why. Since everything is allowed, unconditional love accepts all of that, does not reject that at all. So to further that, the one that is rejecting and the one that's accepting is the same, is whole. The one that's asking the question, the one that is responding to it is the same.
I want to grab that. Can't happen.
And the one that's grabbing that is already perfection. So perfection is trying to grab something that it's already it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Corey, did you have a question? Your mic is on.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I don't. No,
All right, no worries.
no.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. Johannes.
Hey, Emerson.
Hey, Johannes. How are you?
Yeah, pretend to be good. Question arises, when there's no me, does experience happen at all? Or is experience just an illusion?
It's all an illusion, experience, because there's no one experiencing it, right? So there's this
Yeah,
immediacy. So experience can like almost connotes a time, right? I'm
Yeah.
experiencing this right now. And there's a subject and object that is experiencing it, right? It's kind of like this very dualistic. I'm experiencing whatever. So there's always an I involved in it. So what seems to be happening right now is there's this humidity here in Toronto. There's speaking happening, but there's no one behind it. So there's no one experiencing this speaking. Everything is just this immediacy, and the illusion of separation, or the dream of separation, creates this separateness, that you must be experiencing this, that you said that I'm pretending to be better, pretending that I'm good. You just created a story there. So stories are experiences. Experiences are stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because somehow it sounds like when you describe your environments that there is someone to experience the environments. I'm here, I'm sitting in this room, and so on. It sounds like there is
Yeah,
somebody there.
yeah, we have to use words. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is,
sure.
but if to be completely honest with you, it's just there's really just no one here. There's this just
Yeah,
the immediacy of this, even this talking right now. No one knows what's this. This
yeah,
doesn't know what it is. It doesn't really experience anything. It's just this
okay.
apparent sound happening, smiling happening right now, and it's just this immediacy that doesn't really have any time because it's seen here that time doesn't exist. It's seen here that it doesn't. There's no from here to there. There's no before and after. There's not even a now. It's just this words that cements or supports illusion of separateness. Words like happy, sad are just words of separation. Kind of like what I was talking about yesterday when there was this pain here. It was also seen that blissful and pain are the same. That every single emotion, every single feeling is just wholeness. There's just labeling in the separateness of everything that seems to happen.
So to say pain is just pain. It's just an experience of pain. It's just pain.
Yes, just painting by itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, the moment that you put the I in it, you separate
yeah,
yourself from the entirety of what's happening. Then you claim it. There's a claiming to it,
yeah.
right? Or I am happy. Then everything else is it's a segregation tool, right? And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just an illusion. Once it's seen that it's just a separateness idea, the moment that I comes, it's almost kind of like an artificial intelligence, like an AI that just appears. Again, that's saying too much. Don't get caught up in that one, right? Because there's no one that created it. It doesn't have a source. So it's a sourceless, like an app that just appears, this separateness. And it comes really automatically. It doesn't even sync with what's really happening. For example, I'm feeling just kind of like what you said, I'm pretending not to be. That's just a story that just came up. It actually does not really match what's happening. It's just a description of something that is quite flimsy, and it's just a word that just blankets or obscures the emptiness of everything.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. I was just wondering about, okay, when there's no experiencer, there could not be any experience. That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
the case, more or less. Just words to describe something, what's not
Yeah,
really happening.
words are just kind of like separating tools in essence, just to kind of like label everything as separate that is already whole. It's kind of like you have a big watermelon, and then you're going to put a label all over the watermelon, and you're going to put mango, banana, and everything, but it's just a watermelon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. All of these words does not really mean anything. They're really pointless. It's just trying to describe something and it doesn't even match what it is.
so words just pointing to a part of the whole, more or less, describing just a part of the whole. But it's
Yes, yeah,
all the time a whole. It's just,
yeah,
it's never separated from anything. It's just completeness already. And
yeah.
words describe parts of the completeness, more or less.
You can say that. Yeah, it's kind of like word is actually separate silence, because if there's no
Yeah,
word, then everything is just silent. Meaning that it's never been separate. When the words come, although it's not separate from silence, then it suggests that it's separated. Like the way that we're speaking right now, we're really divided by sounds. But what unites us, there's no us, is just silence. The non-negotiable portion of this is silence. The non-negotiable portion of this, well, it's not really a portion, but the non-negotiable is stillness. These movements that is appearing, or these sounds that are appearing, are negotiations. They're illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying.
Glimpses are the dream. Yes, you can also say that. Thank you. Hi, Emerson. I like when you say completion. Can you expand on that one? Yeah, it's just another word for something that cannot be changed. It's already complete. It's unchangeable. Um, Everything that's happening at this apparent moment is unchangeable. Everything that this apparent, any apparent individual is thinking is unavoidable. So all that there is this, right? And there's nothing that's outside of this. And there's seemingly a thinking that it's lacking, that it's missing something. So when I say that it's completion or fulfillment, then everything is already full. Everything is already complete. It's almost kind of like there's abundance in everything already, and then the seeker keeps on looking for scarcity. Like it's like every single moment there's like a chest of gold, and you're like, well, where are the pearls? And then when it appears next time that there's just full of pearls, and you're like, well, where are the diamonds? It's not. It's rejected. It's not good enough, right? And that treasure that everyone's looking for appears in everything. It appears in indigestion, in anxiety, in coffee. It's a bewilderment when it's seen that everything that is appearing is already perfection. It's already the price that you're looking for. It's in everything. Tej goes, can you, sorry, I get a whole bunch of questions here. Can you talk about that there is absolutely no choice in anything, anytime? Yes. It's quite hard to this is one of those things that a lot of get, even this character, when it was seeking that thought it had a choice. So the burden of thinking that you have free will or choice is thinking that you have negotiation skills. So when everything is already happening perfectly as it is, there's no one doing it. It's already perfection. So everything is running on its own with no one in it. This wholeness, this infinite wholeness is running by itself. Or your apparent life, if you still think that you have a life, you think that you're running it, that there is a choice that I can do this, and it's a very persistent one. It's a very persistent illusion because it maintains that I am here. It's like that really strong controlling mechanism. When someone is a manipulative character, when someone is a controller, they can't let go of that control because they lose power. And so what's being suggested here is that the negotiation of free will or choice is still that wanting to control that aspect of what's happening automatically. It can believe, sometimes the seeker can believe that there's no time, there's no one here, but can't let go of that free will or choice. Because the free will of choice actually is just as a really flimsy illusion. Because if there's no one doing free will or choice, if there's never been anyone there, it's just this suggestion, this apparent illusory mechanism, to think that it can navigate, it can negotiate of what's happening. It's like it thinks it's really arrogant that it thinks that it can do something. It's kind of like, it's like a paradise, kind of like a negotiator. Well, you know what? This is already paradise. Everything that's appearing is already perfect. And then the negotiator goes, that think that they have a free will or choice. Well, you know what? I want a better paradise, and because I deserve it, I've been seeking for a long time. I want that big enlightenment. I want that, all that kind of stuff. So the want and the need and the desire is fueled by the need to control. The idea that I am, that I have a choice in this. But when there's a collapse or surrender of like, oh fuck, I can't do wrong or I can't do right, so might as well enjoy the show. Then that's what appears as just this kind of like lightness, aliveness. Because it's not too busy fending off shadows, trying to drive imaginary cars, trying to control things, trying to do all of this. It's this neurotic, free will or choice illusion that keeps on getting kind of like caught up in this idea that there is something that I can do when it's actually just not there. Did you want to add something to that, Tej? Oh, thank you. Perfect. It leads to the fact that there is no one anywhere. Yeah, totally. There's a question here from Johannes. Johannes, you wanna add to that one? Nothingness plays hide and seek with itself. Oh, I can't hear you. Just a second. Oh, just a second, okay. Go ahead.
Did you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, nothing happening. So all this seeking energy is just hide and seek with itself, because actually there's nothing to find. There's no seeker. There's not actually seeking happening. Nothing is happening at all.
No, no, yeah, and that's what's so fascinating about this. I was walking around. Well, no one was walking around here in the street earlier today, and just seeing all of this diversity in Toronto. You know, just seeing this different characters, kind of like thing, and walking around in this city, and seeing how beautiful diversity is when it's seen through a lens of wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there's really never been anyone separate, that everything is just, it's just that even that idea of less than or more than is was collapsed a long time ago in the apparent story. But it's just seeing the wonder. It's kind of like walking through a garden of wildflowers. It's exactly what it is, walking around, because this character lives in the suburbs and it's in the city, and in the city there's just so many different characters, you know, walking around here. There's Tibet town here, and just this, there's a homeless shelter there. There's a whole bunch of people clubbing last night, you know. It's just this wondrous, it's kind of like this just really brilliant, you know, field of beautiful flowers growing everywhere, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's really no one there. So I'm looking at, it's the same thing as looking at flowers, because there's no one behind the flower, and there's no one behind individuals, because there's never been anyone at all.
Yeah, it's right in front of our eyes and we cannot see it.
Oh, sorry, repeat that again.
Well, it's right in front of our eyes. We cannot see it. As
Yeah.
long as there is a person, it couldn't be seen.
Yeah, but there's never been a person there, though.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. There's never been a person. So there's this perceiver, which is the illusion, the
Yeah.
one that perceives things. The one that perceives also creates this illusory. It can only function in illusion, right? So it creates judgments. It creates kind of like, oh wow, you know, all that kind of stuff are all illusory. So when that is kind of like when the perceiver is bypassed by just this seeing, that even if that programming is going on, it's just seen as distortion. And so when this distortion is seen more and more often, it's almost kind of like not even bothered by it anymore. So what's seeing is just this clarity that there's just these differences here, and there's no more fear in these differences, all that kind of stuff. There never was anything before, but there's just this aliveness in everyone, because the perceiver is bypassed. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's understanding. It's clear understanding that, but the energy sense of the body feels, oh, but I'm still here. That's a nice description, more or less. But I'm not still there. That
Yeah.
goes on as long as it goes on. You can do anything about it.
Yeah, so you just put kind of like a little kind of like sticker on a whole watermelon and called it contracted.
Yeah,
It's just a little label.
yeah,
So that little label is really nothing, because everything is already whole. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that separates this and this. This is nothing speaking to nothing right now.
yeah. It's so unbelievable easy, and
It is. It's very simple. It's very simple.
it's really simple.
It's very simple that once it's seen how simple it is, it's almost kind of like, wow. It's just always been this. So it's always unchangingly, stunningly, unconditionally whole. It's always been whole. The whole watermelon with just different labels in it. And those labels are just suggestions. And the suggestions are suggested by something that's not even there. So once it's seen that everything is just complete already, once it's seen that everything is already perfection, so any labels or any kind of like anything that pops up are seen as just kind of like, you know, when when you start living in a new city, and it, you know, for example, when I was living in Vancouver, it rained all the time, but it just drizzled. So after a couple of weeks, I didn't even mind it anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just becomes a part of it. This is what this city is, or it's just embraced, because that's just what's happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Anita. Are you there, Anita?
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Yeah,
It's good to see you.
good to see you too. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah.
Oh, there it is again. All right. Tej goes perfect. It if it leads to the fact that there's no one anywhere. Oh yeah, I read that already. Do you guys have any questions? Good, okay.
Kenneth says when there's no questions at the end of a weekend, it means, he said, I like it, there's no questions.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, it there's a lot of thing that gets clarified, right? Some of the questions just keeps on getting exhausted because the answers are always going to be uncompromisingly not taking any position or anything.
resistance, weapons, weapons,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
few.
yeah. Kelly. Hey, Kelly.
Hi there.
Hi.
Um, I guess I'm looking for um, answers. No, let's see. Are all states temporary?
Are all what? Sorry.
States temporary?
All
Uh,
state.
yeah, states. You know,
Um,
like
everything is temporary.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think I think
everything is an illusion and everything is temporary.
what I guess what I'm thinking about is there hasn't been a lot of emotional stuff going on.
Okay.
Like it's almost flat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't it's okay. I just
Yeah.
don't recognize myself.
Yeah. um, when this is just a story and like your story here, when there was this seeking that was almost kind of like almost ending, there was this flatness. Yeah. Right. Because it's kind of like when a little toddler goes into tantrum and it keeps on getting ignored. Does not make
Yeah,
any sense. And
yeah.
it's not entertained anymore. So the tantrum seems to kind of like lessen, and because no one is my mom used to tell me that when you were a little kid, when we did not look at you, you shut up. and forgot about the crying and went back into your own kind of like thing. So it's just that it's very similar to that, right? Because when there is a seeing that there's really no one out there and there's really no one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
It's
subsides.
the other thing is, it's like, I don't care how much I'm alone. Like
You're never
it's
alone
tight.
because you were never alone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, like there wasn't anybody, but now it's more like, um, I guess I don't want to talk. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to be this. I don't want to be with so-called people because I don't want to do what it takes to be a person, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, kind of. There was an hermiting that happened here as well, with this kind of, with this kind of seemingly kind of like a losing an interest in what's happening. Does that make any
Yeah.
sense? Like,
Yes,
and,
totally.
and there's also seeing that there's no one doing it. It doesn't have any choice, so it's completely relaxed. So what
Yes.
appears to be just like really lying around, sitting around, watching, doing nothing. Um, and it's not to get anywhere. It's almost kind of like it almost got kind of like got exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it also physically exhausted?
This character, not really, but it just exhausted the seeking because it went super hardcore, and again, no one can exhaust and no one cannot exhaust. It's because there's no one there. The seeking apparently was not as serious anymore. It didn't have the same kind of um, hold anymore. Does that make any sense, Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It it almost seems like I just coming to these is just like getting a dose of sanity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what it did too. That's what it did too because it kind of like almost surrendered, you know what I'm saying? Well, no one surrendered. But there was
Right.
almost kind of like a sense of giving up, for all of this. And that's a part of it too, is because when it's seen that it's almost like the negotiator kind of like is doesn't want to come in anymore, doesn't
Yeah.
want to clock in anymore and do his job because it got tired because it goes, I've been negotiating for years now and I can't seem to get anywhere. So I'm just going to watch Netflix all day, that kind of thing. So that's what seemed to happen here in this character. And it was just a lot of laziness that happened. A lot of laziness, a lot of so what?
Yeah. So what?
A lot
Exactly.
a lot of kind of like who cares? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then- and although still did not give up all of the belief systems but it somehow is almost kind of like a deprogramming that happened, that they strongly believed that I can do something, that there's something that I can achieve. um is almost like it fell down so many times that it can't get up anymore, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
It's just like it exhausted its seeking so much that it has seeking fatigue syndrome. That's a new one. Um, that's just another illusion, though. So
SFS.
the seeking fatigue syndrome kind of like creeps in, and it's just this pure laziness and so whatness and whatsoever, and then it comes to the meetings once in a while because you're like, well, you know what? This is sane. Everything is insane. Isn't everything insane when there's this
Yes.
clearing, that seeing that everything is just happening automatically, and then you see people running around trying to control the show, and then all of a sudden you're like, there are no people that's running around doing this stuff. What is going on? What kind of twilight zone did I get into? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is the natural stuff. This is the naturalness of things. This is
Yeah.
actually the normal. The illusion is that I was running the show, that there are others, that there is a free will, that I have a choice in doing in any of this, that I can get somewhere. That's the insanity. and then you see it paraded everywhere, in TV shows and music and everything. It's
Yeah.
this. It's almost like this consistent propaganda
Yeah.
that's just blaring everywhere of separateness, that I
Constant.
am here and there, and all the individuals and everything. And it's just such a massive propaganda, such like a cult, right, the cult of separation. And
Yeah.
when that wears thin, you're like, oh, I can't listen to any of this, any of spirituality anymore. It's almost like you get allergic to spirituality. Did you get that too? That's another
Oh yeah.
symptom of
You mean
what
like
what do they call it?
organized spirituality? Is
Any
that what you mean?
spirituality, any
Yes, yes.
spirituality, or
It's
even some
disgusting.
non-duality that's posting as non-dualities. It's
It's
allergy. You're like, oh,
disgusting. Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
disgusting.
And you
I
can't
grew
listen.
up
Sorry, go ahead.
Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I went to a funeral, the Catholic Mass,
Yeah,
and I couldn't even do the cross. I mean, it was an effort, and I thought, what am I doing this for?
yeah,
And
yeah,
listening
yeah,
to the Lord's Prayer, it was like blah blah blah. It was meaningless. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or for this character, when somebody did the namaste, I'm like, okay,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Calm down, calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And to me, that was so holy before. The character was like, oh, really believed in that. The light in me bows to the light in you. The divine in me bows to the divine in you. It's yeah, all that kind of stuff. I get, even when I hear Sanskrit words right now, I get an allergic ear reaction. I'm like, oh, when I hear like words like karma or anything, dharma.
Yeah, it just doesn't make
I
sense to
don't
me
use it. If I
anymore.
guess you notice, yeah, it's I don't, because it's just something that is just words that I actually misappropriated when I was a spiritual teacher, that I used, all that kind of stuff. So the peeling away of all of this illusory pretensions, that there's nothing wrong or right about that. Sometimes that the what's really natural is just really happening could seem really just bleak and almost boring, and it's actually not bad at all. It doesn't
No.
have all of these fireworks, right? It's just this naturalness. It's kind of like on a Sunday you watch this Discovery Channel shows, with the animals. Life just
Yeah.
becomes like that. Everything is just moving around, and it's kind of like watching like a whole bunch of elephants, but instead of elephants, you're just watching apparent people walking
Yeah.
around, talking. Yeah.
Well,
And
you
then
made me feel better.
yeah. Oh, thank you. And there's just this once in a while you can like check into, um, um, the this ridiculously good looking but absent Emerson. And that's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to get some sanity. Some sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. How are you doing over there? Okay.
I found recently that it's not so much Netflix. I can't. I'll try to watch something and I'll get into it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then there's no pull towards it because it's too much story, or
Yeah.
I just can't relate. And recently, as you were saying, it's the entertainment, everything we're programmed. This Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, that has been pulling the attention. It's drama, but it is fascinating for this character to see the strong egos, this sense of separation, like bless them both, right? And all this conflict. And that to me, I've been watching a little, and then after 15 minutes, it's enough. And then, but I do find I'm just scrolling through YouTube at my various subscriptions, and something, whether it be non-duality or whatever, it'll come up and it'll hold the attention for 5-10 minutes, but I can't watch the whole thing through. But it is fascinating to me, to this character, about the Netflix, because friends will say, "Oh, have you watched this? Have you watched?" And then I'll think, "Oh man, just try to be normal and integrated," and then I'll put it on, and it just doesn't appeal to me at all. Like I just, not at all. So it might be, maybe I'm not so pulled to the story as much as I like. I don't think I've watched the full movie probably in about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, there's seemingly different kind of like almost like an exhaustion in seeking and seeing that what is being sought for, that cheap thrill of gossip and everything, is no longer there, or that righteousness or whatever, or the need for entertainment is not, or it could be the opposite, because before when I was in spirituality, I only wanted to watch high vibrational shows, all that kind of stuff. So for me, maybe watching that trash is not that bad. It's just, again, it's just the apparent story, the apparent storyteller is challenged now. So whatever it held on to is challenged. Whatever it tries to negotiate is just seen as like nothing we can do about it. So it almost like gives up. Well, there's no one in the story. It almost gives up control of what it doesn't really want. I was talking to someone before that there's no more filter in his character, so it can be really kind, and it can also be very, very blunt. And he used to be such a diplomatic character, but now that's gone. It's just like, it will just say it as it is, because there's really not speaking to anyone, and there's really no one doing any of this, and it's just really just happening. Again, these are just stories about characters that are not really even necessary, you know what I'm saying? But it's just because nothing really happens, but there seems to be a lot of interest in speaking about this, either post apparent, seeing, right? I do a lot of one-on-ones, and a lot of people that apparently do this, and this is just a story. I don't do anything. I've never done anything. Apparently have a seeming relaxation, and then these stories are shared of they'll be like, "Hey, Emerson, after we did that session, I am not I'm just super lazy now. I lost my drive, or I lost my my passion." And it just it sounds really kind of like gray and everything, but maybe in the story, that drive and passion is trying to is causing a lot of suffering. It's causing a lot of unnecessary drama, right? I tried to hang on to some spiritual friends, and unfortunately, there was the bullshit detector here was very, very strong, and we would get into, and again, not really arguments, but I just basically said, "Okay, no problem," but it no longer interested me. It no longer kind of like had anything. So I actually, and then this is just a story as well. It could be opposite for other apparent characters, but this character likes to be alone, likes DJing, and likes doing this. It's in love with doing this. It's in love with DJing. Loves playing piano nonstop, right? And it doesn't need any approval. It doesn't need any pat on the back, kind of thing. It just likes doing things really simply now. Or it could be the opposite for some characters. Some character that probably, wanted to be more whatever. Again, all of these are just stories, but the seeming happening, with some of the people that I talked to after their apparent unhappening, that never happens to anyone, by the way, is that resignation of the negotiator. That resignation, and it's quite liberating to be free as it is, right? I was talking about it yesterday, that when I was looking for liberation, I thought I found it by teaching meditation, and then I discovered that it was just another trap. So this one, what's being talked about here is that no one was ever trapped. No one is in the story. Everything is just freely happening. And that's just absolute fucking liberation. that there's just no one doing any of this. There's no one trying to change things. Hey, Sheer. How are you, Sheer? Oh, not Siri.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to ask you, why do you think that side? I mean,
Why do I what? Sorry.
why do you think, or you say, or you describe that everything in this world, this beauty, this beautiful flowers, this sky, this salty water, why you say that this is illusion? I
Because
just want to know this.
yeah, because once it's seen that the one that's seeing all of this, the sky, the salty water, is the illusion. So everything that it sees is an illusion. So this is an illusion. So everything that comes out from this, that seeing and everything, is an illusion. So nothing is excluded, right? So that's what seemingly happens that never really happened, is the one that thinks that it is perceiving everything that's real, like the air, the salty water and everything is exposed as not being there.
It doesn't matter if it's me or if it's just the eyes see and the ear. Actually, is the eyes is not mine. It's just seeing, and the ear is not my hearing. It's just hearing.
Yeah.
And this hand is not mine. Someone said that this is your hand. And
yeah, but you're separating it, Sheer, right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
yes,
separating it. That's what's happening. So the wholeness aspect of it, let me just share the wholeness, right? So everything that is seen through a perception of separation.
No, yeah.
When there is someone there. So the one that's seeing the separation is the illusion. So everything that it sees is not here. It's just seen through this lens of separation, right? So the one that separates all of this seeing, or the one that thinks that is seeing through this, is the illusion. So everything that it sees, perceives, and thinks is the illusion.
I mean, it's Emerson. This is a life. This is an expression in life, and you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes, but you said that this is an illusion.
But you're making illusion something. But you're making illusion something that it's not, right? You're trying to. Life is an illusion.
I don't think that I don't think that life is illusion.
See, that's what not the problem, but the error in there is that when you think, it becomes a belief system, right? So you're holding onto something that you think is true.
Yeah, the thinking which you talk about it.
Yeah.
This thinking
I don't think about thinking. I don't talk.
This thinking that I talk thinking.
Okay.
It's not my thinking at all. Because someone else comes, some idea in some. I don't know fucking.
No one has ever shared that. There's no one that has ever thought of anything at all. There's no one. So what is thinking then when there's no one?
It's just 2 years I hear this message, which I do really love.
Actually, you did not. There's no 2 years.
Yes, but it happened. I didn't search this either. It just come, and I love this. I cannot help it. There is just this resonance. You call it what you call
resonance.
it. Resonance. Actually, when it was with Tony Person and Jim Newman, one time when I did talk with Jim Newman, he just said there is not you. He just said there is no you.
Yeah.
It can resonate. It can fear.
Yeah, because you know what? Why it resonates when it's mentioned that there's no you? It suspends the belief system, meaning that there's no one there that believes anything. no one there knows anything for a fact. There's no one there that knows what life is or what an illusion is. So the resonance is emptiness. It's basically the unknowing. And that's why there's an attraction to this for this character. But it gets really frustrated because it keeps on holding on to these ideas that, well, I think that life is real. And that's what seems to happen. And there's nothing wrong about that, or thinking that there's thoughts, right? So it's although there's a seeing, that there's a feeling here that there was a seeing that happened and there was no sheer there, but sheer keeps on coming back and keeps on negotiating it.
Yes, it happened with me many times, some glimpse, that
Yeah. But sheer
it
keeps on
feels,
coming back thinking that it runs the show.
it feels,
You're not
I
there to
don't
run the
know.
show. That's a little bit arrogant to think that that this is
Because,
yeah.
Here I have anger, and the same time it's there is some beauty, which I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the unknowing is what's resonating, right? Because the
Yeah,
moment that I don't know
that's right.
anything, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's
That's
right.
what resonating. Yeah.
But I
But
buy that.
yeah. And what seems to happen is when we're talking is that you're looking for a somehow kind of like cut me a deal here.
And actually, it's just, yes, it's always. I often listen to you or this message yours because yours and Tony and they are the same, Ariana and I can't help it. But it's
Yeah, because there's no one there that has any choice. It's already being pointed out to you right now. There's never been any
yeah,
share there
yeah,
that has any choice. It's just running automatically.
yeah.
Automatically. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you anyway.
I
So
love you too.
uh,
Bye. Hi, Anita.
Yeah, hi, Emerson.
Hi.
Yeah, I recognize the garden of the flowers in the bodies that were walking around the
Mm,
last 2 days when
yeah. Isn't it
this was,
stunning?
yes, it was
Yeah.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those varieties. But it's still something in me that like to work with the frequencies.
With the
The
what?
healing, yeah, with the frequencies from the healing
And
work.
what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's maybe
So
my.
there's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. As if you have any choice anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's also perfection. What's wrong with that? Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
I'm actually, Theo was talking about the one. He said there are no problems,
Yeah.
and it sort of clicked.
Yeah.
It's almost like a koan, a Zen koan, where
Yeah.
you just keep working on that. You filter it down to the bare bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that's what I've been a little silent today, right?
Yeah, it's just there never been a problem.
Yeah,
There've never been anyone that has a problem, and there's never been
yeah,
any future problems.
yeah.
And it's just even the word problem is just problematic because it doesn't really exist. Yeah. And it's just this stillness. It's just this stillness, right? the seeming problem or seeming suffering apparently occurs by illusion when there is a controller, something or something that fixes things and everything. So when negotiator, so when it's given its resignation papers saying, well, there's no problem, we don't need you here, then it retires. And it becomes a retirement yeah. What am I going to do now? That's why Kelly was like saying that, well, I don't know what to do now. The emptiness hanging out with itself is so chill. It's really chill. It's really chill. Especially in a really funky kind of like part of the city. In a funky place with awesome people. The funny thing is about this place is this is an Airbnb, so this is not my place. So rented this place Airbnb, and it's just really awesome paintings and cool. And then when I came upstairs, there were pot paraphernalia everywhere, marijuana stuff. And then I realized that the downstairs is a marijuana shop. So cool. So I went downstairs earlier to say hi to them, and then they're like, "Oh, you're staying upstairs." And they're like, "We can give you discounts." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm already high." Goes on what? I'm like, nothing.
That's good header for a book.
Yeah.
I am nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Emerson, for returning the round glasses. Those are my favorite. I couldn't find the red ones. Oh, Petra. Hi, Petra.
Hi, Emerson.
How are you?
Good to see you. Almost down to the feet. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Looks all very comfortable, like here on my sofa. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Show me the perfect lotus position, please. No. How come the illusion is so persistent? How come I still believe so much that I have to rescue other beings? And
yeah, you know what? It's really persistent because it is.
Yeah, because it's
It
so
is.
perfect.
It's perfection in an illusion, so it's going to be a perfect illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perfection or the unconditional love as an illusion is going to be perfect, and so whatever happens, happens, and there's seemingly this. I'll use. I'll promise I'll retire the negotiator word soon. There's a negotiation that happens, kind of like, oh, you know what? Why do I need to save these animals? Do I really need to? What it's just going to do, what it is going to do, regardless of the negotiations, because it's already non-negotiable. So what's going to happen is going to be non-negotiable, and there's nothing that you can do or not do about it because there's no you doing anything. It's going to be persistent anyway. It's always going to be non-negotiable. So it's like it's almost kind of like what we've been talking throughout this afternoon is that it is going to be what it is. It's going to be either you rescue another dog or not rescue another dog. Yeah.
So what?
So what?
Yeah, I was thinking about the so whatness in everything, and yeah, I think as when I don't see, when there's no seeing of the so whatness, or when it's getting really sticky, it's, then, or then it's sticky. I don't know what I'm talking. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
It's what it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Love you,
Good to
Kelly.
see you.
Oh, sorry. Love you, Petra. And I have Kelly asking a question. Um, yes, agree that hanging out alone is really chill. I'm loving the relaxation and recalibration that seems to be happening, beliefs dropping. Yeah. Sometimes the purging process, there's no process. This is just a story, right? When every single belief is kind of like, oh shit, yeah, that one too. Oh, and the big ones, the big belief, you know. But once the believer is seen as impotent, that beliefs are actually not necessary at all, then it becomes it's really chill, really chill. Problems that don't exist, and everything is okay, and so what? That's right, Kelly. Laura goes, Kin, what is your tattoo? Show it. It's actually a whale. And this is kind of funny. I got this tattoo in the midst of suffering. What when I got into this apparent enlightenment thing is, I had a dream one night that I was in a boat, in a canoe boat, and then a a whale emerged out of breached out of the ocean and swallowed me whole completely into the depths of the ocean. And and that what happened was there was just this a peacefulness that I could never comprehend. So when I woke up, I was like, I had a glimpse with the whale eating me, and took me to the depths of the ocean, and there was just this liberation, death. That's why I have this tattoo. It's an indigenous whale art, yeah, which is kind of cool.
It's cool. I love it, and I love you very much.
Oh, I love you too, Laura.
That happens to Job also.
Yeah,
In
someone
the
told me
belly
that.
of the
Yeah, the
whale.
belly of the whale. But this one was just like almost like, you know, when that almost can like signified like the fear of the death of the fear of death,
Yeah.
because that was death, right? Um and then after that I had this whatever, all of these glimpses and whatever, so it just became almost like a something. And then when I was almost at the giving up of seeking, I thought I would reignite it by doing the tattoo maybe 4 years ago, and I didn't even need it afterwards. But it's still cool though. Funny that you had a glimpse in the dream, in a dream. Well, this is still a dream. Dreaming itself. Sorry. Go over there. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. I was telling Carla last night, what's that guy's name the scientist from Holland, who's very popular on the YouTube, and he knows a lot about,
Rupert Sheldrake.
no, it's Bartoli or something. Whatever his name is, he knows a lot about split personalities, multiple personalities, how one, and he has some strange far out stories. He said you couldn't believe that one body would hold a personality that couldn't see what, blah, blah, blah. And one of his ideas, or I don't know if it's his idea, but it came, is that the nothingness has a split personality, and we're all of the split personality.
Oh, that's kind of neat,
Isn't that
Bernardo Castro.
and it's he has some very interesting ideas. Someone was saying that in the Vedas you can relate all the stories to the physical structures, Ganesh to the thing at the back of the head and all of that. And this guy said everything is a fractal of a fractal of a fractal. So that I was just thinking when you said we're in a dream, a fractal of a dream of I'm not quite understand fractals. Maybe you can talk about that.
I like that idea. It's a really fun idea of thinking that nothingness is having kind of like a split disassociating with 8 billion. But I think that's a bit it's a really great idea though. But what's seen here is that there are no 8 billion people. There are no 8 billion people whatsoever, and there's nothing even kind of like that split. Even that illusion is because there's only one illusion really. There's no other individuals here. In this room, there's not even anyone here. There's never been anyone here. So even that idea coming from that scientist is just another dream. Yeah, yeah. It's a cool thing though. It's a cool dream. That would be such a cool movie, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a cool thing. But it's just another story. But I like stories as well. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah. Of course, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Maybe I'll change it. I'll cover it in blackness. But yeah, that's a cool story. I like that one.
Mind loves to have a pattern, to see that's a bigger,
Yeah.
harmonious.
It's just really emptiness pointing to itself all the time, and it appears in different variations, and did different stories and everything. It's all pointing out to the same emptiness and everything.
In some way, it captures the abstract to just enough you can
Yeah.
taste something that you can't have in words, but the words point.
Yeah.
So the story kind of, the ocean and the waves, the individual things that separates
Yeah.
away from it. Just like it gives lovely metaphors.
That's right. Yeah. I'm actually beginning to like. I'm. It's so funny because I'm in the process now of drafting my third book, and I've never released a single book. It just keeps on appearing as like a 12-day, or 5-day online event like this, and oh, sorry. Can you hear me now, Liliana? Sorry. But yeah, I'm using a lot of analogies lately. I'm using a lot of stories lately. It's inspired by Tony, that he used one of these stories called the Lollipop Shop. The Lollipop Shop is that seekers usually go to the lollipop shop and they keep on getting lollipops and candies and everything, but they keep on looking at the other store and it's empty, and they keep on going there, and what's on offer? They're like nothing. So they never go there. They keep on going to the lollipop shop and keeps on. He tells it so much better than me. Basically, yeah. Hungry Ghost, thing. But yeah, it's very similar. But I just went off a little bit more further in different kind of like directions. But well, thank you so much, everyone. Do you guys want a breakout room? Do you guys want to hang out? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put you guys in a breakout room, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow on Sunday at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., which is going to be, I think, 6 p.m. UK. Yeah. And thank you so much, everyone. Everyone can say bye now. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, Emerson. I love you, man.
Thank you,
Bye.
Emerson.
Love you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Take care.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
Bye.
you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to
Cheers.
cheers. I'm going to stop the recording and put you guys in a